Some inventions, they don't just change things a little bit, they change everything. And that's exactly what we're talking about today with the Ford Model T. Seriously, this thing wasn't just a car. It was a full-blown revolution on wheels that completely reshaped the world as we know it. So let's dig into how they pulled it off. Okay, so to really get just how big of a deal the Model T was, you've got to picture the world back in 1908. Cars, well, they weren't for regular people. Not even close. They were basically expensive toys for the super rich. Think custom-built, one-of-a-kind machines that were ridiculously expensive, super hard to find, and honestly, they broke down all the time. Which brings us to the big question, right? How on earth did we go from that, this super exclusive luxury item, to a car that ended up in practically every driveway in America? Well, that's the story we're going to unravel. It's the story of the Model T. All right, so first up, a car for the few. Let's really paint a picture of the world before the Model T. You've got to understand the problem to see why the solution was so brilliant. So just for a second, put yourself in the shoes of an average person back then. What would it actually take to own a car? I mean, could you even dream of it? The hurdles they were just massive. Yeah, this really sums it all up, doesn't it? Cars were scarce, super expensive, and honestly pretty unreliable. And a huge reason for that? Every single one was handcrafted. We're talking skilled artisans building them piece by piece. That made the price tag astronomical. So no, they weren't for getting to work. They were purely a status symbol for the wealthy. Okay, so into this world of expensive, handcrafted toys steps Henry Ford. And this is the key. He wasn't just trying to make a slightly better, slightly cheaper car. Nope. He had a vision that was so audacious, so completely out there, that other car makers probably thought he was crazy. And this quote, this says it all. This wasn't just a business plan, right? This was a declaration, a mission statement. He literally wanted to democratize the automobile, take it from the rich and give it to everyone. And get this, the really radical part. His goal was to make a car so affordable that the very people building it on his factory floor could go out and buy one for themselves. Just, wow. So the million-dollar question is, how did he actually do it? I mean, it sounds impossible. And yeah, the car itself was great. It was simple, it was tough. But the real magic, the true genius, wasn't the car. It was how he built it. And this right here is the heart of the whole revolution. Before Ford, you had a bunch of skilled workers all moving around a car that stayed in one place. Ford completely flipped that on its head. He invented the moving assembly line. Now the car came to the worker. He broke the whole complicated process down into 84 simple little jobs. Anyone could learn one of those jobs and get really, really good at it fast. So let's put some numbers on this. Before the moving assembly line, it took 12.5 hours to put together just one Model T chassis. Now, for the time, that was actually pretty good, but for what Henry Ford wanted to do, not even close. And the logic, you see, was just beautiful in its simplicity. You didn't need to spend years becoming a master car builder anymore. You just had to get really good at one thing, tightening a specific bolt, attaching a certain part. And that specialization, that was the secret sauce. That's what unlocked an insane level of efficiency. And here's the payoff. By 1914, that 12.5-hour assembly time, it was down to just 93 minutes. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's not just a little bit better. That is a complete and total reinvention of how things are made, period. So when you have an innovation that big, its effects don't just stay inside the factory, right? They explode outwards and change absolutely everything. The results were, well, they were staggering. And you can see it right here in the price. As they got faster and faster at building the cars, the price just fell through the floor. Look at that. In 1909, a Model T was $825, a lot of money. But by 1925, it was down to $260. Suddenly, this wasn't a dream anymore. This was something a normal, middle-class family could actually afford. Ford took all those savings from his factory and passed them right on to the customer. And here's a fun little mythbuster for you. Everyone knows that famous Henry Ford line, right? You can have any color so long as it is black. And for a while, from 1914 on, that was true. It was all about efficiency. Black paint simply dried the fastest. But what most people don't know is that the very first Model Ts actually came in a bunch of colors. Gray, green, blue, even red.
But maybe the coolest part of the story is what people did with these cars once they had them. Because the Model T was so simple and tough and cheap, people got creative. It became this amazing platform for all kinds of inventions. People turned them into tractors for their farms, they made them into fire engines, ambulances for World War I. They even put skis on them and called them snoo flyers. I mean, rail cars, mobile churches, you name it, somebody probably tried to build it out of a Model T.
So let's wrap this up. When you put it all together, what is the real legacy of the Tin Lizzie, which is what everyone called it? It's pretty clear it's way more than just a car. 15 million. That's how many Model Ts Ford sold. And just to put that number in perspective for you, by 1918, get this, half of all the cars in the entire United States were Model Ts. It wasn't just a popular car. For millions of people, it was the car. And if you need any more proof of its legacy, in 1999, it was officially named the most influential car of the 20th century. We're talking about a panel of global experts picking it over other absolute icons like the VW Beetle or the Mini. That's how big its impact was. Just unmatched. Because in the end, that's what the Model T was. It was a catalyst for modernization. It gave ordinary people a kind of freedom, a mobility that they had never, ever experienced before. It's the reason we have suburbs. It created countless new jobs and industries. It really became the symbol of a modern America that was going places. And that kind of leaves us with a final question to chew on. The Model T was this massive technological disruption that changed everything: how we live, how we work, the look of our cities. So when you look around today, what's our Model T? What's the invention that's changing our world just as profoundly right now?